All right, let's get right into it today. So, I want to talk to you about a skill or habit or a practice that I do just about every Monday morning, and hopefully it can help you as well. So what I have found is that when I do this practice every Monday morning, it creates in me persistence to my goal, okay? So for those of you who might struggle reaching your goals or just being consistent with the things that you know you want to do, that's who I'm really talking to today, okay? All right, so first of all, persistence must be cultivated, right? It is a habit. It's definitely a way of being. However, it's a habit, and you can put it right into your schedule, okay? Persistence is really, really important because without it, you won't actually get to your goal. Now, sometimes you have a goal that's rather short, right? So for example, as I'm recording this, it's morning time. If I'm thinking through, getting through the day and what are we going to have for dinner later, right? I don't have to be too persistent in that, do I? But if I'm talking about building a business or creating a new program or, I don't know, getting through COVID-19 while you're homeschooling your kids, right? You got to have a little bit of persistence. So every Monday morning, what I do is I evaluate my persistence level. I will evaluate where do I want to go, what's happening in my dreams. There are a couple things on my schedule of things to do this week that I'm like, oh, we're gonna actually reach that goal this week. I'm so excited about that. And there are other things that probably, quite frankly, it's still gonna take months out, right? So I just check in every Monday morning and say, where are we at with that? Okay. Now, this is more than just creating a to-do list, okay? I'm not one for to-do lists only because, you can put stuff on your to-do list, which is just fine, but that doesn't mean anything. It's just stuff you got to do, right? We do talk a lot about prioritization. So if you listen to some of our past podcasts, you'll find that there's a lot there about prioritization because we want to help people actually get stuff done and be productive, right? So go beyond the to-do list. Which one should you start with, right? But what I'm talking about is a little bit different than even your prioritizing, okay? So this is like a up-leveling of that. So for those of you who've been following my work for a number of years, or even months, you'll understand that this is really an up-leveling, okay? So get ready. You're gonna wanna take notes for this. Now, I also want to share with you that this is what I do. This is not necessarily something that I am saying everybody should do, nor am I saying that you are ready for it. I'm merely introducing it to you, okay? So take it and run with it if that's what you feel like is going to be effective for you. If you feel like, that what I'm going to share with you is just, I don't know, a little off or a little wonky, don't do it. It's okay. You don't have to, right? And also, you can take any one of these that I'm going to share with you. I'm going to share with you 6 things that I evaluate every Monday morning. You can take any one of these and say, I'll just do that one, okay? Totally up to you. You can create your own things that you want to evaluate on a Monday. It's up to you, okay? All right, so let me share with you briefly the 6 things that I evaluate on a Monday morning to make sure that I am cultivating that habit of persistence, being consistent, and getting to my goal. So the first one, of course, is my purpose, right? So you can look at it as your mission, your vision, your goals, whatever you think. But purpose is really kind of the combination of all of those together. So what is your overall purpose in life, right? And I know that might sound really big, especially for a Monday morning. But really, it's why are you here? What are you about? Who do you want to help? How do you want to help them? And you can have a very vague or general idea of this, or as you grow, it will become a little bit more specialized. Okay, so I look at, where am I at in my mission, and I pull out my schedule for the week and I say, of the things that I have going on right now, how are those things going to help me on my mission? Okay. The next thing is desire. So I just kind of take a check. Now, listen, desire doesn't necessarily have to be about your current feeling, Okay, so for example, sometimes you can do this checking in and say, okay, how much do I want my goal, right? And maybe on a Monday morning, you're really charged up and ready to go. You had a great weekend, you feel ready to go. But maybe on a Wednesday afternoon, you're a little drained and you're like, oh, not so much, right? So what I do is I really think about, okay, how bad do I really want my goals? Right? And sometimes just sitting and looking at the plan, right? The picture. I'm a person who thinks in images and pictures, so I have a picture of where I want to go. How bad do I want that, right? Now, sometimes I'll put a rating on it, but, sometimes I'll just look at it and go, yes, that's still what I want, right? Now, the third thing I evaluate is my level of self-trust. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being low, 10 being high. So 1 being I don't trust myself at all, 10 being absolutely I trust myself more than anybody else, right? How much do I trust myself? And this is really, really important because you guys see, and this is a whole nother podcast episode, I promise you, but self-trust is like the engine that keeps our persistence going. And if you don't trust yourself to get the ideas or trust yourself to, when you do get the idea to know what to do with them, you're not going to be able to be persistent. Okay? So just checking in, where are you at, trusting yourself? Okay. Number 4 is looking at the plan. So reviewing the overall plan. So not just, the vision or the picture or the image that I have, but the plan that's going to lead up to that. Just sitting and looking at it and saying, okay, that's the plan, reminding myself of the overall plan, and then looking and saying, okay, based on my schedule for this week, what things are currently scheduled that are fulfilling that plan? And coincidentally, there usually is 1 or 2 things that aren't, and so that signifies to me, be careful, right? Because you don't want things popping up on your schedule that aren't getting you to your goal, right? And then I also think about what are the things on my plan that I need to put in my schedule, right? So right now we're just still in the midst of recording a ton of content, right? We've got online courses like crazy to kind of help with some of the high needs during the COVID-19 crisis. We also have courses coming up that I'm really, really excited about that I finally get to launch. Just as a side note, we're getting ready for our live teaching call tomorrow night. I'm so excited about that. So there's a lot happening, and I need to make sure that not only are the things on my schedule on my overall plan of where I'm going, but that my plan items are on my schedule, okay? And then the 5th thing I think about is knowledge. So what do I need to know this week to get the next part of my plan done? Okay, so sometimes, I would say probably 80% of the time it's a technical question, right? So like, okay, Michelle doesn't understand how to do this one thing in technology, so I need some help. Sometimes it's a question for one of my mentors, and I know I need to jump on a call and say, hey man, help me think through this, right? Sometimes it's a matter of, maybe I've been having a little issue with some things at home, right? Do I need to reach out to one of my mentors who has older children and just say, hey, help me understand this a little bit, right? So I think through, what do I need to know this week that's going to help me be successful, and how can I jump out and ask somebody, right? So it's the what do I need to know and the who am I going to ask. Okay, sometimes it's not maybe a who do I need to ask, but maybe it's a book I need to read, right? So this morning I plugged into a new book that I recently got, and quite frankly, this morning it was talking about this idea of self-trust, and I was like, whoa, that's great for a Monday morning, right? So what do you need to know? Who do you need to know it from? And then the last one, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this one because I do this teaching all the time on your daily 5, right? The 5 things that you know every single day are going to help you get to your goal. So, or help you feel fulfilled, okay? So for me, mine, reading, writing, reflecting, relating, recording. Okay, so it is just past 8:30 in the morning as I am recording this, and by 8:30 in the morning, I will have all of my daily 5 things done, okay? Which is great. It's amazing because anything after that is just bonus, right? However, the thing I do on Monday morning is I think about those daily 5 and I say, okay, first of all, are those 5 things still helpful to me? Are they still helping me to get to my goal? And I can assure you every single Monday when I do this reflection, the answer is always yes, because those daily 5 things, quite honestly, that's kind of my purpose, right? So going back to that beginning one, checking in on your purpose. And I also think about, okay, if those daily 5 things are things I'm doing every day, how can I make sure that when I do them, I'm getting to my goal? Right? So, for example, when I'm recording, every day I'm recording something. For those of you who followed us for any length of time, you understand that just about every day I have a podcast episode. So every day I'm recording something. I'm definitely reading and reflecting and relating all day, every day. However, am I getting to my goal? So the recording part, what am I recording? It's simple, but yet, see, one thing I understand about persistence and consistency is it is simple. It's really, really simple, but most people don't do it because they discount the simple, okay? Don't discount the simple. Just keep it simple, stupid, right? That KISS philosophy, keep it simple, okay? Awesome. Hey, that's what I have for you today. Again, you may choose 1 or 2 or all of those 6 or none of those 6 or create your own, or you may choose at the end of this, okay, Michelle, that was great. Thanks for sharing, and I'm done with it. Totally up to you. Use it for what you want. That is just fine. So before I leave you, I do want to remind you, I will put in the description all the information you need to know about our live teaching call that we're going to do tomorrow night, May 12th, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You'll definitely want to take some notes on this one. We are talking about reducing the negative influences in your life. So understanding that some of those come from your thinking and some of those come from the people who are around you. So I'm going to give you some great tips and tricks that have really helped me, especially during this COVID-19 crisis. How can you come out of this better than when you went in? So I will put that in the description, and I hope you join us. It's just a conference call, so you don't have to talk. You're not going to be recorded. Nobody's going to see your face. You just call in and listen. And I have some exciting announcements at the end for you, so I'm just so excited for the whole thing. So join us tomorrow. All right, so with that, I release you into the wild. Go forth and prosper. Have an amazing day, and we'll catch you next time. All right, bye-bye.